I saw like a blowout fight. That's the image that I'm getting. Slamming doors, arguing, something like this. And the cards that I pulled from the alchemy deck are really interesting. I got the Sun Splendor, Sugar, and Wise Salt, but I was told to stop pulling from there, and then I just kept pulling. And I have Oil of Vitriol, which is about anger, and then Lightning at the bottom of the deck, which we'll talk about that. But this is, you know better than to make the situation worse. You know, this is like a self-preservation thing. It's a preservation of what you have, what you've worked so hard for with, you know, for yourself or with this person. 10 of Cups at the bottom of the deck. There is something here that I think you are keeping in mind, not to spoil it when you are moving. So you're being really calculated, right, in the decisions that you make, because there is something that's very important to you that you're attempting to preserve. Now, what that thing is doesn't really matter, I think, in this reading. I think I'm more curious about the other person involved. Four of Cups, Six of Wands reversed. Oh, they do not want to repair. This is super, the way that this is coming off to me, Nine of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, is just very like, yeah, and, you know, like, okay, and not, and like, this is someone who doesn't have license to do that. You know, this is someone who has caused pain or is acting. There are words that I want to use that I cannot use on a family-friendly app. The Hanged Man. Maybe you're hoping that this person will see themselves the way that you do in this situation and outside of the situation. Damn, you really love this person. You know, it's not like, I don't know who this could be. You know, this could be your romantic partner. This could be your life partner. This could totally be someone's mom, you know, or like parent or sibling or whatever. But like this is how this person copes, is by like, kind of, man, I've done a few readings lately for this collective about somebody else not being able to take accountability, you know, and I don't think that that's necessarily the case for this person in this particular reading. I think that they do take accountability, or they do have a level of self-awareness that, you know, like they know what they're doing, they just can't bring themselves to admit it to you or anyone else necessarily, you know, but they know, and you know that they know. The Magician and the World. It's a good amount of major arcana on the table right now. The Three of Cups. Seven of Swords, King of Cups reversed. Oh yeah, buddy. This is annoying. Because there's like this kind of emotional manipulation thing that I want to see how you're showing up. But this is looking like emotional manipulation, and like I know that I can just tell that this collective is too smart, and like you already know what this person is up to. So you're kind of just allowing them to do their thing. And maybe you're even letting them think that they're, you know, that whatever they're trying to do is working on you, but I don't necessarily think so, you know, like that might be for some of you, maybe, but this Oil of Vitriol card that's angry. And Lightning at the bottom of the alchemy deck, Saturn is under that, yeah, so that makes a lot of sense. You are holding yourself accountable to your own anger because you don't want to make things worse. But this is making you very angry because you can see like how yeah. I'm like you've got to be fucking kidding me, you know, like it's very like that energy, because this person might feel impossible, and this is not a kind of behavior that you've never seen before. I want to see how you're showing up. 444 on the timer there. You know, you know what this is. You're smart. You know what this person is trying to do, and you also know that they're better than that because they've shown you that they're better than that. You know, they've shown you improvement over time. That's at the very least what I'm hearing. I've got death. Oh, this is your energy. Also, I'm like, oh, that's right, death. Ooh. Death, the 3 of Wands, the Lovers. Oh, you're thinking differently. You're thinking differently about this person. Maybe you're keeping it cool for now, but in the back of your mind, you're kind of like, yeah, this isn't gonna work. You know, let's just make it through this particular chapter, this month, you know, let's just get rent out of the way. Let's get the lease out of the way, right? Whatever. 2 of Pentacles here. You're reasoning with yourself. I'm seeing this as reasoning with yourself. The High Priestess and Temperance, damn. Ooh, Queen of Wands. Yeah, I mean, like, this is, I think I'm speaking to, like, baby and bathwater type of collective where there is maybe possibly a level of impulsivity that you're feeling, like, well, let's just get out of here, you know, like, get the fuck out of my house, or, like, that's kind of what that's kind of the vibe, you know, where, you know, you might look at this person and say, like, we're done. This relationship is done. I'm not doing this anymore. But the High Priestess and Temperance, you know that you're not done. You know that you're not done. And so that makes me want to get this other person's energy, because I'm like, I wonder if this is a toxic situation. There's nothing here that really makes me feel like this is anything you really need to be concerned about, like, as far as, like, being toxic. I don't know. Some of you guys might be toxic, but, like, but I think that, I have noticed over time that some of the collectives that I speak to, like, you guys are really working through toxicity. Like, you're aware that, like, you are a toxic person, or you have a history of being a toxic person, and you're also aware that that is true for the other person. Both of you guys are aware and working through it, and, like, handling as best you can with the coping mechanisms that you do have. So that tends to be the group that I speak to. But I am curious here, I guess, your advice. Like, what do your guides, what does, you know, the God of your understanding want to advise you on here? What direction do they have for you? Because I don't know, there's a kind of stability that I'm feeling here that almost makes me think that, you know, there's confidence, there's awareness. So even if this were really toxic, you've done a level, you know, you've achieved a level of healing that it would be safe for you to leave this behind. And it would also be up to you if you wanted to continue putting up with whatever this person hasn't healed. You know, like, you've gained a level of like autonomy from, I don't know if I'm making sense here, but, like, the kind of self-awareness that you have achieved and the accountability that you have held yourself to, how far you have gotten yourself on the journey has kind of, it's almost like given you this new license where it's like, yeah, you can stay and you can help with this person through, you know, their healing in this particular area, but you also have full license to leave, and you would be fine in either scenario, right? Like, that's the amount of work that you have done. You are not chained to either reality. Yeah, you have a kind of choice that I don't think that you were aware that you had before. And I think that if you chose to leave, you would do a lot better than you would have if you left before. There wouldn't be so much back and forth maybe as there would have if you hadn't achieved this level of healing. Okay, I'm trying to, hang on. I'm not going to tell you what to do here. I can't tell you what to do here, but what I will say is that any move that you make next, you need to understand that there's a level of pain or heartbreak on both sides, right? And you guys, I think you know that. So the guidance really is to just kind of get curious about what the happiest version of you is, get curious about what the happiest scenario is, and then when you think of that, when you can envision that, ask yourself if that is sustainable and if it is truly what you want, because the happiest thing, the happiest vision, the happiest outcome to you right now might be very different in a week or a couple of days or even 5 minutes. So consider that. I have 2 cups at the bottom of the deck. You know what you have, and you are free to keep it if you want. All right, good luck.